dog hair now. Right, okay. Afternoon, guys. Where are we? So Pilates. Hello, Rachel. Okie dokie. Just turn the volume off on my phone in case it goes off. Stand back a bit so you can actually see my face. Are we all okay? So Pilates. I've brought the camera closer so that you can see a little bit better, because there's a lot about technique and about posture and things. So if you've never done Pilates before, I'm going to teach through all the different levels. And I've been teaching Pilates for about 10 years now, okay? And it's all about your core and about your posture, mobility, some strength work from your core, your lumbar spine, about getting that spine alignment. So if you've had any injuries with your lower back or your mid back, your upper back, any part of your back, it's all good for that. It'll help to strengthen and to improve posture. If you've got lower back pain, it's good for that. So it's good, like the rehabilitation side. And I've heard people say, oh, I don't really notice the difference, I don't really feel like I'm doing anything. But the moment they stop doing it, they realise the benefits were there. Okay, so it's all slow, controlled, gentle movements. So you may not feel it too much at the time, but you build it up gradually and you will feel the difference, you'll see the difference. There's different target areas. We can work through the hips, we can work through the inner thigh. So there are other areas, not just the core and the lumbar spine, that we focus on. And a lot of work through the waist as well. So we're going to get standing. I'm going to get you in a good position to start with. Then we're going to get a little bit mobile, and then we'll get down on the floor. And then once we're on the floor, we'll stay on the floor for about half an hour or 25 minutes, let's say. And then you're done. Okay, so standing nice and upright, nice and tall. Your toes and knees point forwards, shoulders are down and relaxed. So make sure that you're balanced and central. You're gently rocking side to side, forwards, backwards, making sure you've got an even distribution of body weight across both of your feet, and finding that neutral spine. So you're just tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards. You're finding the position where your back feels the most comfortable. You've got that natural orthotic curve in your spine, okay? Core muscles, the pelvic floor, the muscle from within you'd use to stop, get my words out. The muscle you would use to stop mid-flow. There we go, got it out. That muscle, imagine it's attached to a lift, draw it up from within, all the way up to floor 10, take it down to floor 5, so around 50% engagement, and then down to floor number 3, 30% mild engagement, so you know you're drawing up, but it's not too uncomfortable and you can maintain it. Then imagine you've got a belt around your middle, 10 notches, pull it in as tight as you can go, notch number 10, so it's really tight and uncomfortable. Take it out to notch 5, and then out to notch number 3, and that's where you're going to leave it. So you can feel some mild tension around the centre of the body, but again, it's not too uncomfortable and you can work with it, okay? So one last thing to think about is the breathing, which comes from the rib cage. Hands on the ribs, fingertips touch. Now we're not moving the hands, we're breathing from the ribs. Breathe in, take a breath out. Take a nice deep breath in, and release out. And relax the arms down. So gently begin to pedal through your feet. So all the way through, I'll constantly remind you to keep your back neutral, to keep your core muscles in place, and to breathe from your rib cage. Shoulders are just rotating one way and the other. Placing the feet down, we come up onto our toes and release. I've got a fly in here, it's really annoying. All the way up and release. One more time, lift, lengthen the whole body and release. Good. And we're just going to take our legs out slightly wider than the hips and gently ease across from one side to the other. Just bringing the arm through, mobilizing through the hip and through the knee and around the shoulder and the chest. Changing the arm. Start small and then gradually make that movement bigger and then holding it in the middle. Bring your feet slightly closer, arms out, breathe in. Breathe out, lower down to one side, look to the fingers. Breathe in, come to the center and look ahead. Breathe out, lower down, look to the fingers. Breathe in, come center, look ahead. Good. So we're lowering and lengthening through one side of the body and then returning back to the central point and then release. Good. So bring your feet hips distance apart, toes and knees point forwards. Just allow the arms to gently sweep forwards and backwards. Keeping your hips nice and still, I want you to gradually begin to look over your shoulder so you're following your hand. And then I want you to make that movement slightly bigger, but keep the hips still. I don't want you to rotate through the hip. The movement comes through the back, spinal rotation. Lovely. And then arms come to the center, and then stepping towards the back of your mat. Breathe in, tuck your chin to your chest. Breathe out, slowly begin to roll down through your back. Soften your knees, allow the arms to hang and relax, and then when you're ready, you're going to gently breathe out and begin to roll all the way up through the back. Rebuild the spine, relax the shoulders, reset the posture. Breathe in, chin to the chest. Breathe out, gently roll down through your back. Soften your knees, allow the arms to hang and relax. And then when you're ready, breathe in. As you breathe out, gently roll up through the back. As you reach the top, relax the shoulders. So we begin to roll down this time and then we make our way down onto the floor. So chin in, gently breathe out, lowering down towards the floor. And at your lowest point, you're going to walk your hands forwards and lower your knees down. So your hands are going to go slightly wider than your shoulders. You're going to breathe in, bringing your chest forwards and down between the hands. And then breathe out to come all the way back up. Breathe in to gently lower, chest between the hands. Breathe out, gently lift all the way back up. So it is a whole breath in to lower. And then a whole breath out to come up. Now if you want level 2, you're going to take those legs further away. So you're in like a 3/4 position. Same movement. Breathing remains the same. And then if you want full push-up, you're up on those toes. Carrying on for me, please. Smooth, controlled movements. Hold breath in to lower. Hold breath out to push up. Work around the shoulders and through the chest. Keep your core drawn in and up. So I'm going to ask you, please, in your push-up, for 2 more breaths, 2 more repetitions. Once you've done those 2, if your legs are away from you, bring the knees back under the hips and bring those arms back in so the wrists and the elbows are directly under your shoulders. From here, I'd like you to breathe in. As you breathe out, I just want you to take one leg all the way back. Hold it there for me. Breathe in. As you breathe out, raise that leg. Now that leg is raised, it's as straight as possible and in line with your body. I'm going to ask you to take a breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to bring that leg out to the side and then breathe in and bring that leg back in. Breathe out, take it out. Breathe in, bring it in. Now when you're moving that leg, you've got to make sure that you're not allowing your hips to drop to the side. Now if the leg is working and you're comfortable, you can always take the opposite hand out along the floor so the arm is lengthened. Next option is to raise the arm. And then your final option, you can move the arm out to the side at the same time as the leg. Now remember, your movements are controlled by your breathing. So you should be using full deep breaths, making your movements slow and controlled. Don't have to have that arm up if you don't want to. And I'm just going to ask you please for 2 more breaths here. Try and keep the head and neck in line with the spine. Then place the fingers and the toes down and draw them back in to their start position. Just the leg to start with, taking that leg all the way back and raise in line with the body. Draw up through the core. Don't allow that back to dip or arch. Breathe in, breathe out. Take it out to the side. Breathe in, bring it back in. Keeping the hip nice and in place on that supporting leg. We're not allowing the body to roll. You can extend the opposite arm, keeping it down, just extending it. Or you can bring that arm up and add it to the movement. Breathing out to move away, in to move back in. The range of movement is entirely up to you. If you're moving and the posture is good, great. But if you're wobbling, you need to make your movement smaller. If your arm is up and you're wobbling, take the arm back down. So I'm going to ask you here for 3 more breaths, slow, controlled movements, only going as far as comfortable. Once you've completed those 3, you're gently going to allow the fingers and toes to come down, to slide back in, and then gently come all the way down onto your front. You're going to fully extend the arms and the legs. I want you to point your fingers and the toes. You're moving one leg and the opposite arm, and they're just going to raise. Now imagine you've got an ice cube underneath your belly button. Draw up the belly button. Forehead down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, raise. One arm and the opposite leg. And then breathe into lower. Breathe out, change sides, lift up. Breathe into lower. So your belly button stays drawn up. You're not pushing your tummy down into the floor. You're only lifting as far as comfortable. If you lift and your leg starts to bend, then you've gone too far. Try and keep the arms and the legs as straight as you possibly can. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to release. spine. My apologies if you can hear that. My house telephone has just gone off. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in as you release. Strengthening through the core and the lumbar spine. I'm going to ask you please for one more on each side. It's my dad. Lovely. And then from there you're going to slide the arms back. Forearms and elbows under the shoulders. Look down between your wrists and draw up through the pelvis. Looking down, try not to kink your neck. So this is your level 1 leg pull. The knees are down but the pelvis is up, so you're working through your core. Level 2, knees come up. Don't allow the bottom to come in the air. And try not to allow your back to dip, okay? Having a bit of a hot flush. Well done, guys. If you want to go further, you're going to be coming all the way up onto your hands, making sure the wrists and the elbows are under the shoulders, drawing up through the centre of the body. Now, if you're coming up on your hands, please be careful that your hands aren't going to slide, okay? Especially on carpet, there's a tendency that they might just go, so be careful. Draw up through the core, strengthen right through the middle of the body. Your level, using deep, full breaths. And I'm going to ask you, please, for 2 more breaths. Then you can gently allow yourself to lower all the way down. And you're going to turn on your side, either side, and lengthen the body out. Now you're going to have your head resting down on your arm, and you're going to point those fingers away from the body. Your legs are lengthened, one on top of the other, hips, knees, ankles all stacked, toes pulled away. So if I looked down on your body, it would be in a nice straight line. This hand is there for your balance. Breathe in. As you breathe out, raise both legs without rolling yourself forwards or backwards. Core muscles in place, so draw up, draw in. Lengthen the body so that spine is nice and long. Good, so you can stay here, or we're going to add a movement. Breathe in. As you breathe out, the leg raises up. Top leg raises up. As you breathe in, it gently lowers. Breathe out, it raises up. Breathe in, it gently lowers. Your bottom leg is held and still. It's lifted and still. Any problems, you can always take the bottom leg down. Hand is there for balance. If you don't need it, you're taking it away. Next option is to take the arm over. And your final option, as the leg raises, the arm can come up. Only above the shoulders, point the fingers to the ceiling. Breathe out as you lift up. Breathe in as you lower down. Now we're working into the obliques, into the waist. You're working down the outside of this leg. The bottom leg, you've got some inner thigh work going on there because the leg is being held up. The inner thigh's got to help hold that leg in place, otherwise it will drop to the floor. You've got the core, the obliques, and the lumbar spine. And I'm just going to ask you, please, with your side leg raise, breathing out as you lift and in as you lower. For one more repetition. Once the legs are together, you can bring the arm back through. Gently allow those legs to lower. Now this time we're going to tuck the bottom leg underneath and keep the top leg straight. That leg is still in line with the body and the toes are going to point forwards. So the sole of the foot is facing the wall, the side wall. Head down, breathe in. As you breathe out, top leg only comes up. Toes forward, take a breath in. As you breathe out, rotate from the hip. Breathe in and hold. And then breathe out and go the other way. Now we're looking for small circles and about 5 of them to one single breath out. So the breath has got to be full and deep. That way we can get as many rotations as possible from that single breath. Hand is there for balance or not. Maybe you're able to take it over. Don't forget to change change direction each time you stop. You breathe in and hold. You breathe out and rotate. Don't let the whole body go. It's just from the hip, this one leg. I'm just going to ask you for one more set of circles in each direction. Then you can allow that leg to lower. And if you need to give the hip a rub, please feel free to do so. When you're ready, you're going to bring yourself to sit. So we're sitting upright with the legs bent, feet and knees hips distance apart. Shoulders are down and relaxed. You're going to breathe in, tilt the pelvis under, so it's like your finger is going into the belly button. So tilt the lower spine into C shape. Then you're going to breathe out and lower as far as you can go. Then you're going to breathe in and start to come up. And then breathe out and continue all the way up. While you're coming up, guys, don't allow these legs or feet to move. Breathe in to tilt, breathe out to lower. If you can get all the way down, that is great. But remember, however far you go down, you've got to get back up without moving anything other than the spine. Chin is off the chest. Breathe in and tilt, breathe out to lower. Breathe in, start to come up, breathe out, continue all the way up. If you do have any lower back issues, you can always just do one breath in and tilt, one breath out and come back up. So you're just making the range of that movement smaller just to suit your needs. So if it does aggravate your lower back, just one little tilt and one lift, okay? If you've got short or tight hamstrings, sometimes it's more comfortable to work with your legs out straight. And that is just a matter of preference, okay? It's not going to make the exercise any harder, any easier. It's just a matter of being more comfortable. So working where you feel comfortable. Don't worry about what I'm doing or what you personally, if you're doing it with somebody else in the room, what they're doing. Think about the movement and how it feels for you. Tilting the lumbar spine under, lowering down through the back, engaging the core and gently pulling all the way back up. So in your roll up, I'm going to ask you please for one more repetition. Breathe in to tilt, breathe out to lower. Breathe in, start coming up. Breathe out, continue all the way up. And once you've completed that, you're going to carefully come all the way down onto your back. So I'm just going to rearrange my trousers so I don't expose my belly to the whole world. Legs out straight. I'd like you to point your toes away, arms down by your side. We're going to do an exercise called climb tree. Your leg is the tree, okay? So you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to lift one leg straight up, toe to the ceiling, tree. Hold the leg. Breathe in. As you breathe out, walk your hands up your leg, peeling your shoulders and the upper back off the floor, keeping the chin off the chest, and then breathe in and lower. Breathe out, other leg comes up, point the toe, hold the leg, breathe in. Breathe out, walk the hands up the leg, up the tree, and breathe in to lower. Breathe out, comes up, hold it, breathe in, breathe out, walk up. Now only go as far as comfortable. I don't want this other leg to come off the floor. And then breathe into lower. That is your level 1, okay? Your level 2, halfway up your tree, breathe in, you're going to lower the leg an inch, and then as you breathe out, you may or may not be able to climb all the way to the top, and then breathe in to gently lower. When you lower, make sure you do it with control. Don't just drop. Remember, you've got one leg raised, the other leg stays on the floor the whole time. So this is coming to the top of the tree, but if you don't want to come all the way up, you're just doing that one climb up and then back down. Now if you're really struggling to get the shoulders and the head up, what you could do is the jackknife. You've got the leg up and then you slowly allow it to come down. So if you can, there's more mobility for your back and strength if you walk up the leg. But if you really, really can't, just do the leg on its own. Strengthening through the core. Control every part of the movement. So you're walking the hands up and then you're climbing all the way up. And when you lower, that is also with control. So in your climb tree, please complete one more on each leg at your level. Only going up as far as comfortable for you. And once you've completed those two, you just need to bend your legs and come onto your base position, laying on your back. Now when you come into this bent leg position, I just need you to find your neutral spine again, to find your comfortable back, and your fingertips should be able to touch underneath the lower back. Sometimes if people have an excessive curvature of the spine, your fingers might not meet, but make sure your back is comfortable. So from here, hips parallel, core muscles in place, breathe in. As you breathe out, one leg comes up, right angle. Remember, you should be able to reach your knee. Don't allow the heel to drop, right angle. Hold and breathe. If you want to go further, bring up the upper body, chin off the chest, arms raised, shoulders raised. Breathe in. As you breathe out, push the hands down. It's like you've got a little bouncy ball underneath your hands and you're just pulsing. You're pushing the hands down, bouncing the ball. You breathe in and hold. You breathe out and pulse. If you don't want to pulse, you don't have to. Next level would be to bring the other leg up as well. The shin is facing the ceiling. Right angles in the knee. Core muscles in place. Try not to allow the tummy to dome. And by doming, I mean pushing upwards. You've got to focus on pulling the core in and down. So your highest level, the legs will come out to 45 degrees. Only if your back says yes. Next level, level 3, both legs up. Level 2, one leg with the pulse. Level 1, just the leg. 2 more breaths here. If you've only got one leg raised, you're going to lower it and raise the other leg. If you've got both legs raised, just carry on. If you need to rest, that is absolutely fine, but take one foot down at a time. Don't put both feet at the same time because you'll jerk your lower back. Deep, full breaths. One leg in place, level 1. Leg with the pulse, level 2. Deep full breath in from the rib cage and breathe out to push the hands down. Level 3, both legs raised. Level 4, legs lengthened to 45 degrees. Core muscles pulled in and down. Neutral spine still in place. Deep, full breaths from the rib cage. Just continuing to breathe. Full deep breaths and hold or pulse. Push the hands down. Strengthen through the core and through the lumbar spine. And I'm just going to ask you please for up to 2 more breaths. If your legs are extended, you're going to bring them back to bent position. Upper body comes down. One foot at a time comes down. Okay, so breathe in. As you breathe out, bring one leg back up. Right angle. You're going to make sure that this leg remains bent. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to touch the toe to the floor without moving your knee. And then you're going to breathe in and lift it up. Then you're going to breathe out, bring it out to the side. And then breathe in and bring it back in. So keeping the leg bent, foot touches down, that's your scissor. And then comes back up. And then it comes out to the side, open the hip. And then bring it back in. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in and in place. If you want to go to your next level, you can have the other leg raised, but keep it still. We're only moving this one leg. And you must all the time keep that right angle in place. So the movements are coming through the hip flexor, through the top of the leg. You're not moving that knee. Shoulders are down relaxed, core muscles are engaged, neutral spine in place. You can have both legs raised, but keep the other legs still. So we've got the hip opener and the scissor. Strengthening through the core, mobilizing through the hip, also opening up through the lumbar spine as the leg comes out to the side. And I'm just going to ask you for one more of each of those movements, please. And once you've completed the 2, you can allow that foot to come all the way back down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, other leg comes up, unless it already was. Keeping the leg bent, breathe in, breathe out. Touch the foot down. Breathe in, comes back up. Breathe out, goes out to the side. Don't drop this other knee. Breathe in, bring it back to the middle. So you're breathing out to touch the foot down, strengthening through the core. Breathing out to open through the hip. Breathing in to return. I want you to imagine you've got a glass of water resting on the other leg. So we can't even wobble that knee. You can, of course, have that leg raised if you want to work a little bit harder. But again, that leg remains nice and still. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in. Breathe out, the leg moves away. Breathe in, leg comes back in. And I'm going to ask you, please, your scissor, where the foot touches the floor. Your hip opener, where the leg comes out to the side. For one more of each movement, please. Try and keep your breathing full and deep. Keep your movements slow and controlled to match the breathing. Once you've done that, if you've got both legs lifted, one foot at a time comes down. then you can give yourself a nice long body stretch if you would like to. Well done. So from here, we're just going to turn onto our other side. We lengthen the whole body out. Head rests down on the arm. Fingers pull away. Toes pull away. So we've got a nice straight line with the body. Breathe in. As you breathe out, raise both legs up. Bottom leg remains lifted and still. Top leg. Breathe in. Breathe out to lift. Only as far as comfortable without having to compromise your posture. Breathe out to raise. Breathe in to lower. Bottom leg is lifted and still. Any problems, take it back down to the floor. Hand is there for balance. If you don't need it, take it away. Or you can take the arm all the way over. And then your final option here, arm comes up at the same time as the leg. Smooth, controlled movements. Deep, full breaths. Breathing out as you open and in as you return. Hand is there for balance. If you don't need it, take it away. Any problems, you can always take the bottom leg down. You can make those movements smaller. If you're able to make them big, that's great, but don't roll the hips. And I'm just going to ask you for one more, please. And then those legs come together. Replace the arm. Allow the legs to lower. Bottom leg bends. Top leg remains straight. Toes point forwards. We've got the hip circle to work the top of the leg. Breathe in. As you breathe out, raise the top leg. Toes point forward. Sole of the foot faces the wall. Hand there for balance. Breathe in. Breathe out. Circle from the hip. Breathe in and hold. Breathe out and rotate. Breathe in and hold. Breathe out and rotate. Don't let the whole body move. It's just from that hip. Hand is there if you don't need it. You can take it all the way over. Remember, toes point forward. Sole of the foot faces the wall. They are small circles, but there's up to 5 of them per exhale. Changing the direction each time you stop. I'm going to ask you please for one more in each direction. Well done. Once you've done those 2, you can allow that leg to lower and give that leg a little bit of a rub if you need to. So from there, I'd like you to bring yourselves round and we're going to come back into our leg pull one last time before we finish. Forearms and elbows under the shoulders. Level 1, keep the knees down. Level 2, knees are up. Level 3, up on the hands. Don't push your weight forwards because you'll end up overloading from your shoulders. And we need to be feeling it from our core. So you need to have that tightened feeling right round the centre of your body. Pull the belly button in and up. And I'm going to ask you please, with deep, full breaths, for 3 more breaths. Every breath full and deep and from the ribs. 3, you can gently release. Well done. So all you're going to do from here is push yourself up and back. So you're sitting as far back as you're comfortable to do so on those heels, leaving those arms stretched out. And then from here, bring yourself into your box position. Just take a breath in, round your spine, tuck the chin to your chest into cat stretch. And then breathe out and release. Breathe in, round your spine into cat stretch. Breathe out and release. One last time, into that cat stretch. And release. Well done. So from here, I'd like you to push yourself back into a crouched position. So we're going to be making our way to stand. If you need to hold on to something to help you up, move towards that something now. Or call your partner over, whatever it is you need to use for support. Chin into the chest, breathe in, place the feet flat, and then breathe out. Use as many breaths as you need to gently roll up through the back. Rebuild the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way to the top. As you reach the top, relax the shoulders down. Make sure neutral spine is in place. Core muscles in place. So you've got from now, 4:30ish, until you go to bed, to keep saying to yourself every now and then, are my core muscles engaged? Is my neutral spine in place? Try and keep them in place as much as you can, because that will strengthen them. Even if you're just standing in a queue at the supermarket, hold your core in. It's better than standing like this. Think long, think tall. Lift up onto your toes, balance. Good posture, good core strength improves your balance. And release, good. Lift up onto those toes. And release. You're going to lift up one last time. Close your eyes if you can. Are you still balanced? Did you see me fall over? No, I didn't really. Place the feet down, open your eyes. Well done, guys. So that's your Pilates for today. We are back again tomorrow. We've got, I can't even think off the top of my head. I know we haven't got Pilates again until Friday though. On Friday, Pilates will be at 10 o'clock, okay? So for now, that's it from me. Thank you very much. Well done. Take care, and we'll see you again soon. Well done.